It is 5:45, Monday, April 7th, 2025. I'll call this public meeting to order. City of Peru Common Council in the Peru City Hall Council Chambers. Have a roll call, please.
Anderson.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Huber.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Dutchney.
Here.
Stevenson. Ulrich.
Here.
Thank you. This public hearing is to have a second reading on ordinance number 9-2025, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay for the cost of certain additions, extensions, and improvements to the municipal waterworks of said city. This is the second reading. Does the council have any questions regarding this?
Just wanted clarification. It's for the filtration and the water, or the lead lines, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. This is only for the lead line and then the filter media for the filtration.
Yes. Okay.
That's correct.
Just like to make that clarification
And,
for
and,
the
and again,
audience.
these are the almost $6 million that we're going to end up getting. $2.5 million is 0%, and that's the financing over 20 years, and the rest of it will be a grant. So we're going to get almost $6 million worth of money and pay for $2.5 million of it at 0%. So we're only paying back the principal.
Okay, thank you.
So Josh, you're saying we're staggering that money for a 20-year period?
We're spreading that $2.5 million for over a 20-year period,
Yeah.
yes, at 0%.
Okay.
Correct, yep. Are there any questions I can answer? And then the rate that you guys passed supports this, the $2.5 million worth of financing. That extra $1 a month for the 3,000 gallons,
Yeah,
dollar and change, excuse me.
okay. All right.
Any comments or questions from the audience? This is the second reading. It will come up again in our regular meeting at 6 o'clock. Nothing further. I'll need a motion to adjourn this public meeting.
I make a motion we adjourn the public meeting.
Second.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. We will re-adjourn at 6 o'clock tonight. It is 6 p.m., Monday, April 7th. I'll call this regular meeting to order of the City of Peru Common Council in the Peru City Hall Council Chambers. If you would please rise and follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation by Pastor Brent Wedding. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we thank you for your goodness to us. We thank you for this beautiful day that you've blessed us with. We pray that you would bless this meeting tonight, touch our council, our city attorney, our city clerk, our mayor. Lord, give them wisdom and understanding as they make decisions for our city and lead us. We pray that you would fill their hearts with integrity, that they would lead with excellence. Bless this community, our school systems, our first responders, our law enforcement. We pray that you'd bless the economy of this city. Lord, we just thank you for your blessings, and we pray that you would continue to pour out your goodness on this town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Roll call.
Anderson.
Here.
Fisher. Here. Huber.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Dutchney.
Here?
Stevenson.
Here.
Ulrich.
Here.
Thank you. First order of business will be the reading and correction of the minutes from our regular meeting on March 3rd.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
I second that motion.
Roll call.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes?
Murphy,
Yes.
Skydachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Ulrich,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the committee liaison reports. Councilwoman Murphy?
Parks Board met last month as scheduled, and everything is going well at this time.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ulrich?
Okay, the Civic Center, we met, and we're still planning for the open house, which will be on April 26th from 2 to 5, and we hope to see several people attend that. We're also looking for sponsors to help fund the Civic Center, and so that information will be available at the open house as well. And then the Plan Commission met on March 25th. The rezone that we'll vote on today, that was voted in favor for the 215 East 5th Street from R1 to an R3. And then the B ordinance was passed by 4 of the attending, and 1 person abstained due to the conflicting information that he had received from the city attorney. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson?
For the fire department, we had 97 total runs, 14 fire calls, 45 medical calls, 7 automobile accidents, 31 calls of service, 85 inspection hours, 110 training hours, and 20 hours for investigation.
Thank you. Councilman Fisher?
Attended the Board of Public Works meetings on the April 1st. They approved payment of claims and accepted bids and street closures and police and fire personnel changes. Attended Peru Utility Board meetings on March 19th and April 2nd to hear discussions and updates on various projects like the long-term control plan and storm cleanup and power outage and so on. Attended the Miami County Economic Development Board meeting on February 12th to hear status updates on various economic development activities. And attended also Makita's monthly elected officials council meeting on March 10th to discuss projects, and that's open to the president pro tem of the council to go to it, among other county officials. The Miami County Recycling District attended that board meeting on March 17th to discuss putting a concrete apron out there off of Logansport Road, as well as, any issues with the vendors and so forth. Rediscover Downtown Peru, I'm the council liaison to that committee or that group that discusses facade grant updates and alley activations and key building things, as well as Second Saturday activities. Tax Abatement Review Committee, there was no meetings in March. Same way, there was a meeting in March for the 9/11 Central Dispatch, but it was canceled. Other meetings I went to of importance, Miami County Commissioner meetings on March 17th and also this morning. And a lot of times things go through the county commissioners that end up here at the council, so that's why I go to those meetings. Attended the city planning and Board of Zoning Appeals meetings, same thing. Some things do end up on our desk as well that the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Appeals may recommend. And I think that's where I'll stop.
Thank you.
Yep.
Councilman Skydachny?
Yeah, I've got some information from the county council meeting from March 18th. One of the things that was discussed was the solar abatement moratorium called Huckleberry Project. They dealt with the comprehensive financial plan. $15,000 was allotted for courthouse renovations. They discussed the Converse Library Board appointment, Rachel Boyer. And then on behalf of Courtney Schmidt, part of the annual Purdue Extension Report, wanted to pass on that the 4-H program has grown, continues to grow in Miami County. That's all I have.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Huber.
Talked to Brian with the street department the other day, and they're still just basically doing spring preparation, patching holes, trying to fix a lot of the damage that happened over the winter. Everything with them is just the normal operations and going smoothly, no major issues there. I talked to Greg at the animal control. The spay-neuter clinic, I was interested to hear that in February, they have this company that's coming in and doing a low-cost spay and neuter for the dogs. And people bring their animal to the animal control facility. They get picked up there, transported to, gosh dang, I was thinking, can't remember where they're taking them to. I was thinking like Frankfurt or something, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, in February, they did 31 spay or neuters, and in March, they did 45. So that's, I guess, getting a good start on trying to get some animal control and get that under control. He's got several dogs. I think he said he had 13 dogs in the pens right now, so that's a lot for them. And of course, always hoping for adoptions and whatnot, but it takes time and it takes effort. The dog park's good. That gets used a lot. So everything's going well there. With the airport, last Saturday, they had a fly-in and FAA safety seminar with a fly-in and breakfast for a pancake breakfast. That was very well attended. Seems like whenever they do that, they get a pretty decent crowd of people that come in, which is good. Then, of course, June 10th, they'll have their open house. That's exciting. And, Mr. Mayor, I forget what date you were talking about the Cobras. We have a National Guard unit coming in.
I'd have to look. I think it's June 8th, but I don't,
Okay.
my recollection is
But
not.
we have a National Guard unit that's going to be flying in, and they're going to be doing some exercises with some Cobra helicopters, and that's going to be pretty exciting as well. So things are happening out there. They've got some excavation coming up soon. They're going to be building some additional hangars in the near future, which will also help. And that's all I have.
We'll make sure that we inform the public the day of that exercise with the Air National Guard, because there will be a lot of Black Hawk helicopters flying around and Army National Guard vehicles running up and down the roads. We don't want anybody to think there's an emergency of any kind.
We are not at war.
So we'll make sure we get that word out there. Thank you. Councilman Stevenson.
Josh went over 2024 end-of-year numbers at the Peru Utilities meeting, and all the employees over there at Peru Utilities are doing a fantastic job. That's about all I have.
Thank you. I appreciate all the liaison reports and your commitment to staying active on those committees. Moving into old business, we have ordinance number 9-2025, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of waterworks revenue bonds for the purpose of providing funds to pay for the cost of certain additions, extensions, and improvements to the municipal waterworks of said city. Do we have a motion to consider ordinance 9-2025?
I make a motion we consider ordinance 9, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Sodechney,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Any further discussion regarding ordinance 9-2025 before we vote? Any discussion from the audience? If not, I would ask for a motion to approve or deny ordinance 9-2025.
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 9, 2025.
Second.
And roll call.
Huber,
Yes?
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Thank you. Seeing nothing further under old business, we'll move to new business. First item on our agenda is ordinance 12-2025. It's an ordinance to rezone in the city of Peru. It's a petition to rezone from R1 to R3, a parcel commonly known as 251 East 5th. Do we have a motion to consider ordinance 12-2025?
I make a motion to consider ordinance 12-2025.
Second.
And roll call.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes?
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Thank you. Any discussion about this request to rezone? It did receive a favorable recommendation from the Planning Committee on the 25th of March.
And just for clarification, it's to take a current residence and turn it into a two-apartment home, so.
Do you have anything to add to this, Joe or Jennifer?
Yes, NB Housing CAS LLC is requesting the zoning change. They want to put a duplex, one-story, one-bedroom apartment on the top, two on the bottom. It's right across the street from the park at Water and Fifth Street. Showed us the floor plans that they're working on and all that. Looks like a fantastic setup that they're running there, and we recommended it 100% to approve that.
Yeah, nice big home, yeah.
You guys have anything you want to tell them, or do you have any questions for them? Okay.
Any further discussion or questions? And I would ask for a motion to approve or deny ordinance 12-2025.
I would make a motion to approve ordinance 12-2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes?
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item under new business is a request to appoint Regina McDowell for her second term as trustee of the Peru Public Library. Any discussion or questions regarding the recommendation to reappoint Regina McDowell?
And again, this is an appointment to that board by the city council, so we've received a request to make this reappointment.
If there's no further questions or comments, I would ask for a motion to approve the reappointment.
I make a motion to approve the reappointment.
Second.
And roll call.
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber.
Yes.
Thank you. Congratulations, Regina. We appreciate your commitment to the library. And at some point after the meeting or this week, I think you need to see Andrea again to get sworn in for your second term. Thank you. Next item under new business is Resolution 4-2025, a resolution opposing any reduction of residential and business personal property taxes without sustainable state-initiated replacement. Do we have a motion to consider ordinance 4-2025?
I make a motion, we consider ordinance, or Resolution 4, 2025.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Any discussion regarding Resolution 4-2025?
I just wanted to make a comment of what really grabbed my attention and how it would impact Peru. The city would lose an estimated between 718,000 and 300,000 in tax revenues. That's a lot of money.
And this resolution is simply the city of Peru sending to the State House, to the governor, that if anything is going to change with property tax, that we would request that it be replaced with some other form. Reducing property tax and business personal property taxes, it would be quite a drawdown of our revenue stream for the city and could cause us to have to eliminate some of the services that we provide. So it's a very major issue. And we recognize that everybody would like to see their property taxes come down. But at the same time, it has a very detrimental effect on the finances of the city and the services we can provide. So this is just our resolution to send to the State House and say, if you're going to change it, you need to replace it with something.
Right, there's nothing the legislative body has proposed that accounts for the shortfall that every municipality will have, so.
It's not just Peru. Any other discussion or comments regarding Resolution 4-2025? If not, then I would ask for a motion to approve or deny Resolution 4-2025.
I make a motion to adopt or approve Resolution 4-2025.
Second.
And roll call.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda is Ordinance 10-2025, an ordinance to establish a junior golf fund. Do we have a motion to consider Ordinance 10-2025?
I make a motion that we consider ordinance 10-2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Lori,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
So ordinance 10-2025 to establish a junior golf fund as we continue to find ways to grow various parts of the city. This falls directly on the golf course in an effort to bring more junior golfers up to the golfing world and join our municipal golf club. This would generate a fund, non-reverting, specifically for donations or any other monies that would come in for the junior golf program to go directly into this non-reverting fund just for that usage. So this would allow us to create that fund.
And I just want to clarify, this fund will be established with private donations.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Mayor,
We have a lot of golfers and non-golfers who have asked how they could contribute to the junior golfers. this is a way we can collect those monies and put them in a non-reverting fund to help with that process.
I wanted to ask you, Mayor, what, the people that will benefit from this, are we talking about the adolescents, teen years to 19 or 20, or even beyond that? Or,
I don't know that I can give you a specific top age limit,
yeah,
but junior golfers is
Yeah.
what we would consider them. And I think that's probably up to maybe age 14.
I had a question on the whereas, when it talked about various expenses related to day-to-day operations, then you go down to number 4, and it should only be used for the junior golf program. So I didn't understand, like, the day-to-day operations, like, what would, I mean, when it says it could be utilized for that, and then it turns around and says that it has to be for that.
It would be the day-to-day operations for the junior golf program itself.
Okay.
And this is just, another program that we're trying to establish that will help out our municipal golf course.
Correct.
Yeah.
It also helps to get kids outside doing their thing too, you know?
Right, yeah.
So,
Yep.
I believe there used to be a junior golf program.
I thought there was too.
Yes, there has been a junior golf program in the past. This just allows us to establish a fund to collect those donations to go into a location where we can use that money for various junior golf programs.
Do we have any other programs for any other sports or anything? Or would this be the only one?
I'm not aware of any. Somebody else might be able to
Not that I'm
help
aware
with
of.
that.
And because this is a city facility, that's kind of the purpose of this.
Do we know what the program's going to look like? I'm just curious.
Honestly, I do not have an outline for that program. Our golf course clubhouse manager, Mr. Shiniak, is putting that together
Okay.
to drive this program. I haven't seen the outline for it. This is just a first step at gathering some funds and putting them in a safe place, because we've already had golfers come up and ask how they can donate toward the program. So this allows us to do that, but as far as an outline, we don't have that yet.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? If not, I would need ask for a motion to approve or deny ordinance 10-2025.
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance 10, 2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
yes.
Stevenson,
No.
Ulrich.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda under new business is ordinance 11-2025, an ordinance to amend ordinance 18-2024, the wage and salary ordinance. Do we have a motion to consider ordinance 11-2025?
I make a motion to consider ordinance 11-2025.
Second.
Roll call?
Fisher,
Yes.
Huber,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Saudachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Ulrich,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
This amendment to our wage ordinance comes out of an individual who left from our building department. We have concurred with or had discussions with the building commissioner, myself, and Andrea regarding not replacing that position and combining those job duties to the folks that are still up there, the code enforcement officer, building and code enforcement assistant, and the zoning administrator and building department assistant. So that would take that money that we used for that salary where the employee left, and we're using a portion of that to increase the wages for those individuals who will be taking on more responsibility. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. And questions, discussion?
Were you also adding mowing? You were going to, was that part of it to increase the?
Make one of them full-time, sorry.
Yes,
The mowing
mowing.
crew to a full-time
Yeah,
position?
one mowing supervisor would be going to full-time.
Okay, good thought.
Now, that says mowing supervisor on the wage schedule, but this individual does things year-round,
Yes.
not just mowing. There's also a lot to do in the wintertime, and in the past, we have used that person as seasonal help and laid him off, but there's still a lot of work that needs to get done and can get done in the winter months. So we think it's advantageous to the city that we move somebody to a full-time position and make sure that we keep up with those kinds of duties. The reports that we're getting back at City Hall here is that we're seeing an improvement in our code enforcement and cleanup around the city. That was another reason that we decided that we would like to move somebody to full-time to maintain that.
My concern was if we lose this position, and in hopes, obviously, we have future plans of development with our building department, what would happen if, say, for example, we got a hospital and our building department would be on that for a couple years? How would we fill those other positions if those people are actually doing one person's job and they're all splitting it up? What would happen then? I mean, we wouldn't be able to hire a new employee. Where would that funding come from?
I would suggest that typically if we're going to get something like a hospital coming to our community, that project is a year or more in the making. That gives us time to hire somebody to fill that gap. I don't think we should hire or retain for the what if. We should increase our need when that happens. And if something of this magnitude would come to our community, I think we would have time to hire for that position and bring on an extra person.
And the funding and all that, would we have that available for another position?
Well, we'd have to.
We'd have to make that available.
Right, we'd have to appropriate funds, we'd have to amend the wage ordinance at that point, but
That's just my only fear, is eliminating a position and trying to replace it later is a lot harder to do down the road.
Right.
It has been discussed with the employees that this wage is due to the elimination of a position.
Yeah, we went through this a couple years ago. This was the same
If
thing
this-
that they tried to implement, and it just didn't pass.
If the position has to be filled, then the wages have to be adjusted, and they're under that understanding.
So, Bruce, will the job descriptions for those three positions be revised to incorporate the new responsibilities?
Yeah, we went through the person that's leaving, every item, and moving it into their job description.
Okay.
Would they go to a full-time position where they work all day Wednesday, or are they able to do somebody else's job on their normal whatever, partial week?
We believe that that can be done, which is why it's being presented tonight. There's been a lot of discussion upstairs about this and this movement. We think that it's the right thing to do at this time. To your concern, which is a valid concern, if our city grows to the point to where we need somebody else, we would have to hire somebody for that position and appropriate funds for that as well. But I think we can get the current workload done with these individuals today. Any more questions or?
And this wouldn't lead to overtime for those people if the workload did increase? We wouldn't go into overtime?
No.
Okay.
I mean, there's always the possibility of a day of overtime or a couple hours, but so far, they're working very well together, and there has been no overtime. They're leaving at 4, and
Okay.
If there's no more comments or concerns or questions, I would ask for a motion to approve or deny ordinance 18-2024.
I'd make a motion to approve ordinance 18-2024.
Second.
That's ordinance 11.
Excuse me,
Well, I'm
ordinance
sorry.
11-2025.
Right, 11-2025.
Thank you.
Huber,
Yes?
Murphy,
Yes.
Sawdachny,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Ulrich,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item under new business is the Miami County Economic Development Authority TIF Management Report 2024. Mr. Tidd, would you come forward, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Jim Tidd with Miami County Economic Development Authority. Before I get started in the TIF management report, I just want to go back to the resolution that you approved opposing any reduction in property taxes. I totally support that because a lot of what we're talking about here with TIF and the availability to have TIF to do things with depends on property tax revenue coming in. The only question I had was the way it was presented. It was residential and business personal property. But is it, Dustin, also include real property as a whole, or just real property associated with residential and not necessarily the business side of real property?
Good question. I'm not 100% sure.
Because there is some effort, the reason I ask is there is some effort to eliminate property taxes as a whole. And so I just wanted to ask that question because another substantial amount of revenue that comes into the city as well is on real property taxes. Residential, I think, is covered, but the business side of real property, I don't know that it's maybe the way I heard you say the resolution. I don't know if business real property taxes are included in that
I'm pretty sure
opposition.
or property taxes in general, whether it's commercial building or commercially owned building or residential building. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also proposed legislation that eliminates personal property taxes as well and how they relate to TIF.
Yeah. Okay, I just
Right.
wanted to make sure that we were covered in
Industrial
that.
as well.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I think everybody has a copy. If not, I'll try to breeze through this as quick as I can, but I want to make sure that I answer any questions you might have. Annually, the Miami County Economic Development Authority, which serves as the redevelopment commission for the city, has to create a TIF management report for the previous year. That has to be completed by April the 15th. We have to provide that report to Andrea, who then loads it onto Gateway by the 15th. We also have the requirement to come before the city council, as well as the county commissioners and the county council, to go over the TIF management report for that year. So anyway, getting into it, I'll just kind of breeze through the first couple of slides. The first one here basically shows April the 15th where we're at, but there are a total of 6 different times during the year when we have to report on TIF, tax incremental financing, to mainly the Department of Local Government Finance on different requirements that the state requires redevelopment commissions to do. The next slide, which kind of shows this kind of scale, I think is just important to highlight one thing. When we talk about TIF, if you remember when we set up the TIF, what's called the base assessed value is frozen with the time we set that up. So whatever the assessed value is within a particular area defined in the city, that is called the base assessed value, and that's frozen. That tax revenue associated with that assessed value continues to go to all of the taxing units, just like the TIF wasn't there. The only thing that the TIF captures is the increase in assessed value based on whatever the new investment is made for a particular project or those kind of things. And then after the period of TIF is over with, then all of that assessed value comes back to, in this case, the city. The next slide just shows the purposes of the TIF. The next slide just shows the redevelopment commission members that also serve as Brooke and I's board of directors. So I'm sure you're familiar with a lot of those names that are on that particular commission. The next slide basically shows all of the allocation areas that are currently within what we call the city consolidated TIF district or consolidated allocation area. So again, that is basically phase 1 and 1A of US 2431, the west end, expanded west end, the Peru Industrial Park, the Norfolk and Southern Dorm. If you remember, we set a separate allocation area for that not too long ago to reflect some residential, commercial residential that we're looking at possibly going in there. Square D Plant 2. And then the trails at Riverwalk allocation area was the most recent one that we did. That's where we have targeted the area down behind Central Lighting where the Riverwalk and the Nickel Plate Trail meet right in that corner. We're looking for some new, hopefully residential development that the mayor and I hope to bring to you very soon for that. The next slide over shows finances. So it basically shows for each one of those main TIF areas the total revenues. As an example, for the phase 1 and 1A 2431 quarter area, we had total revenues of $291,896.43. And we had total expenditures for that year of $318,506. And you can see the others that are identified there. We are able to make grants and loans for projects from the TIF. So the bottom of this slide shows some things that we did. Of course, we support Rediscover Downtown Peru with all of their activities for the sod improvement program and those kind of things, which was $40,000 last year. Circus Hall of Fame, we did $1,000. The YMCA was $500. And then we also provided assistance to North Miami Community Schools for some STEM capital investments that they were making in their program of $9,200. The next slide over shows the finances, or basically shows all of the expenditures for the Redevelopment Commission this year. This does include all expenditures, so it's not only just the city's consolidated TIF, but it also includes the TIF out at Grissom. So this is all expenditures out of TIF through the Redevelopment Commission. Fund balances on the next page. Again, I won't go into each one of these, but you can see the particular fund balances that exist. There are, not currently, we hope soon, residential TIFs or housing TIFs currently in the city of Peru. And then also pretty much the last slide shows all the debt payments that we have. The conditional project expenditure agreement for Taze River Properties, which is basically Taco John's, TDB3, correct me, Brooke, if I'm wrong.
TDB3 is Taco John's, Taze River was
7 pillars?
7 pillars.
7 pillars, okay.
Garden Gate, 7 pillars.
Yeah, thank you. B&M Partnership was the building that First Farmers Bank is located in, out along North Broadway. City Square is basically 1 South Broadway. We did issue bonds for the YMCA, as also completing the walking trail along the Riverwalk, so that's there. Conditional project expenditure agreement, Wabash River Equities. This is for the apartment complex there, Wabash Commons. And then also the debt that we incurred with Wabash River Equities as far as financing a loan through First Farmers Bank. So that basically covers the TIF management report. Technically, there is no action that the council needs to take. However, as I was talking with Andrea earlier, by all means, if you'd like to accept the report as presented, that would be great. The only thing that we need to do is just get it in the minutes that we, as the Redevelopment Commission, were here and we briefed the council on the management report. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council might have.
I just have one question, because I'm not sure. How does it work, like with the 7 Pillars building and all of that? Since they closed and sold to Garden Gate, how does that all work?
Well, there is, with that conditional project expenditure agreement, it's transferable.
Okay.
So what happened is the previous owner transferred that incentive to the
Okay.
new owner.
Okay.
So they don't, the clock doesn't start over again. They just
Okay.
pick up what the balance is left.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Any more questions or comments for Mr. Tidd? If
Thank you.
not, I would ask for a motion to accept or reject the report as presented tonight for the record.
I'll make a motion to accept the report Jim Tidd had presented in the way it was presented.
Second.
Roll call?
Murphy?
Yes.
Saadachny?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Hubert?
Yes.
Thank you. Next item under new business is to amend and restate the interlocal agreement for sharing the cost of maintenance of tornado sirens, amended and restated May 1st, 2025.
Good evening. In 2021, the interlocal agreement was reached between the county and the city for the storm sirens that are in the city. So that should be redone every year when new government is put in place, and it has not been, so that's why we've redrafted this to be done now. The only things that we've changed are the version control page.
Yeah, we added the version control page, and the only thing that really did get changed in there, other than the new people that are in elected positions, are the part where the utilities presents the bill. In the last interlocal agreement, utilities was supposed to give it to the treasurer to split between the county and the city. But they, when we talked to the utilities, he said he automatically splits the bill as it is. So we thought we might as well just keep it going to the way he has it, and if it's not broke, try to get it fixed in that sense. But the interlocal agreement is 50-50 for the city and the county for the sirens. And We just want to make sure that since there's new elected officials, that we get that updated in there for that.
Because there's going to be an ask coming here shortly, sometime down the road, to repair the existing system.
Yes.
Huh?
The replacement parts are obsolete.
Yeah.
If I could speak to that, my guys don't want to go up and do the small amount of maintenance. They don't do all the boards, circuit boards and stuff. And those boards are all out of date. It's hard to get parts, so it's impossible to get parts. And those repairs are very expensive. Andrea, the bill this year was only half, and it was a few thousand, wasn't it? Those repairs are getting more and more expensive. And we probably replace batteries in those every 2 years. They don't charge right, the boards aren't working correctly, so he's, in support of what he's saying, there's going to need to be something done with those sirens, just as far as what we've seen on the maintenance side.
We did get quotes in from a couple places. American Signal is currently what we have in the city. Federal Signal is already out in the townships, but we got quotes from both of them to figure out where we're at. There are a lot of issues that are coming up. This stuff should have been looked at probably at least a couple years ago, I would say. We're at that point. It has to be replaced. There's a lot of information that is critical in the case of tornadoes that come through. Obviously, we're still kind of going through that weather, and we want to make sure that we're proactive and not reactive when it comes to a situation when we need to notify everyone in Peru and our townships. But the interlocal agreement is only for the Peru 6 sirens. That doesn't include Bertha, which that's what we've named her. That is on the courthouse. So the interlocal agreement is only for the 6 that are out in on the edge of Peru and around.
It doesn't include out at Grissom?
No,
Well,
no.
okay.
So
No,
Grissom,
there are only 3 sirens within the city limits, and then there are 3 sirens that ring around the outer semi-limits that the utilities still take care of.
Okay.
That's in the interlocal agreement with the city and the county. And then the other 6, like Jody mentioned, are out in the towns in the county. Each town has their own siren.
and the townships are responsible for their own, but we are looking at getting some software to talk to that information, to be a part of that, and try to make sure that all of Miami County is taken care of.
Have you looked at any grant funding for this? Are there grants available?
There are no grants available to get or there are grants available to get new sirens. There are no grants available to replace or to repair.
So
the
maintenance
sirens.
is not really an option. We're not looking at those options, but we have looked at some ones to get more sirens that are possibly more out in the area, but that's a dream that we're hoping that will come down the road. But right now, we just want to get the interlocal agreement signed. We want to be able to get the sirens finished with the quotes and try to get those fixed and redone as quickly as possible.
So tonight, you're being asked to restate the interlocal agreement, which is a cost-sharing program between the city and the county for these 6 sirens that we are just referring to tonight.
Correct.
Anything that comes beyond that will be a different meeting at a different time.
Yes.
So tonight is just a request to re-sign the agreement.
I have one quick question. So we have 3 sirens in city proper, and then the other 3 are in the outer lying areas.
Still in city property.
Inside of city limits or in 2 miles of?
That I cannot answer.
That's just there.
They're still city property.
Because of the 2 mile zone thing, I mean, the county should take care of those extra 3. But just, just a question.
Thank you.
So I had a question. So at this point, what would the annual cost be that the city and county will be sharing?
Well, there's no way to tell what the annual cost is right now, because the repairs are slowly getting
Bigger.
larger.
Yeah.
So, a $2,000 bill this month, after they set the sirens off next month to test them, could be 5,000. I mean, it's hard to say what could break within the next month.
And if we have to send out American Signal, which is really what we do every couple of years unless something, the board itself breaks, it's $2,000 for them to show up. So even if it's something small that takes 10 minutes to fix, if they can get the part, it's $2,000 for them to just show up.
Yeah, I think as of right now, roughly the last couple bills that I think I've seen that was split between the county and the city, it ranged from, I think there was one that was 2,000 and another one that was 3,600 possibly. Yeah, there was one for 5,786, that was in March in 2021, and then 2019, there was one for 2,500, but there's been multiple battery repairs. Let me see, yeah, that one's almost 2,000, and that was in July of 2024. So it's going to get more. The longer we don't get them redone, it's going to be a lot more. So we're trying to get it done as quickly as possible, but obviously there's a process to try to get everything done as quickly as possible, and then we can present the quotes. We've already presented the quotes to the commissioners, and they have approved, and we are stepping over to you guys, but we just need to make sure that we have all our T's crossed and our I's dotted.
So that's going to be a whole other conversation in terms of, as the mayor said, in terms of the cost of the siren replacement. But again, there's nothing on this agreement that has changed since.
No.
Like I said, the only thing
the
is the
version.
utilities is splitting the bills and not the treasurers doing that job. That is the thing, and then the elected officials have all been changed, and the utility, I think the utility people have been changed, and obviously some of our council, our auditor, obviously that's all changed. So we're trying to get that updated. We may not have to update this maybe another 4 years, but if too many people change on there, then we do try to get them updated.
Okay. There's no federal funding for this, right?
For the initial cost of having a town have all sirens, then there is granting for that, but no.
Okay. Well, thanks for the information.
What would the cost of a new siren be?
From one company we checked into, they're about 40.
40,000?
That is, everything is on the pole, siren sets on top of it. They come in, drill the hole, stand the pole up, and then county, city will have to then have a electrician hook up the electric. But that's just from one company.
Well, yeah.
Is that
It seems with all
40,000
these-
per siren?
Per siren, yes.
It seems with all the repairs that is the better way to go. Replace the sirens and we don't have to worry about them for however long. I'm sure with new technology versus these sirens, it's quite a difference.
And there was some discussion this morning about some of these sirens, especially out southern part of the county, where they could, find the frequency and set them off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of the things that we found when we had a siren that did not go off on the day that they're tested. Then 2 days later, it went off twice on its own in the evening, right before, the day before a storm.
Yeah.
The storm was hitting that night.
Yeah.
And I got phone calls, the 911 got phone calls, wondering why the siren didn't go off during the testing and why it was going off earlier when the skies were blue before the storm. And then we found out that the frequencies that 911 uses to set the sirens off, someone can get those and put them in something to set them off. So in one of our quotes is the cybersecurity to be able to block that.
Right.
So there
That
is
can't happen
software,
anymore.
yeah, there is software that will be able to prevent that from happening if that's the case. We can't prove that. There's not a whole lot of energy that we wasted on that because we are getting new sirens. And then on top of that, all the weather, we've been kind of busy with all the tornadoes and making sure that we have storm watchers that are out all surrounding the edge of the county. We were in coordinates with Cass County, watching the storm to make sure if we ever had to call the sirens and get them on. So it's been a little busy, and we're hoping that having this done and then going to the next step, we can get this done as quickly as possible.
I do just have a question, kind of going off what Joe said. With the 3 being within the city limits and the other 3 being outside of city limits and the whole 2-mile radius thing now, would it be better for us as a city to just take responsibility for the 3 within the city limits and the county take responsibility for the 3 in the county?
Well,
That's something that can be discussed,
the
but
three that are out on the outer limits, though, are on city property. So I can't answer that the county would want to come in and take over something that's on city property. Unless you want to discontinue.
Yeah, they're not on
those-
county property.
yeah,
Yeah, they're not on county property.
They're-
They are at utilities property. They are on city property. So,
Okay.
I mean, that would be,
I think we also need to consider the coverage area. I mean, even though those may be just outside what we consider the corporate limits, corporate boundaries, they still impact citizens that live within hearing distance of that siren. So we need to make sure that, those are taken care of as well. We're still, I think we need to consider that heavily.
It was just a question.
yeah. Good question.
Yep, good question.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I would ask for a motion to approve or deny the request to amend and reinstate the interlocal agreement for cost sharing of the tornado sirens.
I make a motion that we approve the amended and restated interlocal agreement for sharing costs for maintenance of tornado sirens.
I would second that.
And roll call?
Sadarchny?
Yes.
Stevenson?
Yes.
Ulrich?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Huber?
Yes.
Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Last item under new business is a request from Marlene Mickelson, Miami County Arts and Gallery, requesting approval of the related electrical utilities for the 4th annual Peru Visual Arts Festival on May 10th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You're tall, I'm not. He's tall, I'm not. Hi, it's good to be here. I'm really excited for this festival. It's coming up. And I'm just going to, Patrick and I are the coordinators, and I'll let him go ahead at this point.
Yes, we'd just like to share this with you and ask approval for utility use. We're not blocking off Broadway this year. The farmers market will have 5th Street blocked off on that Saturday, second Saturday of May. And we have approval from the commissioners to use the courthouse lawn for our festival. So we're heavily located inside the museum with our youth program, which was a big success last year. And then we have 6 demonstrating artists on the courthouse lawn, to which the youth will come to paint outdoors. And of course, the public's invited to also enjoy the artists and enjoy seeing the youth paint. There'll be an award ceremony at 4 o'clock on the stage. We'll have some entertainment after the farmer's market. They also have entertainment in the morning. And basically just going all day from 10 to 4. And then afterwards, we'll have an additional band with a mural celebrating the 65th anniversary of the circus. And so they're participating also in our People's Choice competition, in which we currently have 16, as of today, 16 businesses and organizations confirmed to host artwork in the city. So we're trying to grow the festival each year, and we also want to say thank you to you guys, to the city, to the county, and to all of our sponsors, and to all the businesses, and to all the individuals and the artists that support us and participate every year. We're hoping to secure the utility, just electric hookup in front of the courthouse on the west side of the courthouse, and that's where we've had it in the past, so that we can have entertainment on the patio of the courthouse. So city utilities, but again, we do have permission from the commissioners to utilize that space as well. So.
Quick question, Patrick. I believe Sandy Chittum came to the, or was going to, she's on the agenda to come to the commissioners' meeting this morning to ask for approval for bouncy houses on Court Street. Will that require electricity?
No. Fifth Street, the farmer's market is running. We're condensed, and we're just on the courthouse lawn.
Okay, so you won't be on Court Street.
That's why I gave out the maps.
Okay.
And I've given you the time schedule too, of what happens when. But you'll notice that we're not closing off any streets or any sidewalks. It'll be better for accessibility. People will be able to walk up on the courthouse and see the artists performing, and they can easily be educated and be enthused. And it's as creative as it can get.
Okay.
Then we're closing as usual, but not at midnight. Midnight's a little bit late. We're closing with a mural being painted by the artist and the community. So it's a real building of the community. It's a partnership.
Okay, thank you, Marlene.
At least they would not be using the same electrical hookup as us. I don't know if she'll be requesting.
Oh, so that would have been a request, because the item was Sandy Chittum requesting approval for bouncy houses on Court Street during Peru Visual Arts Festival on May 10th. So was she just talking on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bank that had offered her, and I don't want to speak for Sandy,
Yeah.
And I don't know what her needs are in regards to electricity.
Yeah, okay.
But a bank had offered those services for her, and so she was planning that basically as a separate event, but it works out that it's the same day. And,
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we considered having some of the demonstrating artists
Yeah.
down on the East Street.
Uh-huh.
But we went with the map, and we both agreed that it's better on the courthouse lawn.
Okay.
And it's just ideal.
All right.
So I'm reading here where you're requesting approval of the related electrical utilities. Are you asking us to waive that fee?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking for?
No, basically we're just informing you of the festival, making sure there's no issues. In the past, we've come to the meeting each year just to let the public know and let you know and invite you to the festival. But also a lot of times, just sometimes we talk to Chief Day or fire inspector or anything like that. Any questions that need answered as far as the event space goes.
Okay.
So if you're requesting like temporary service, an extra box like they do at Circuit City, that does need to go to the utilities board.
Okay.
Just give customer service a call, they'll walk you through everything.
Okay,
Just
great.
bring
Yeah.
a box out, it's $50 for the box.
Great.
Pretty much all the electricity you need there, so just give us a call.
We will,
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
will.
We had one additional question. We had worked with Councilwoman Brandy Murphy and Anderson in the past about the city's event support. Was there any update on whether that's
We
still
just
available?
Talked to the clerk about that. She's
Okay,
going to
awesome.
get some numbers together and see where we're at with everything.
Okay, thank you so much. We
Thank you
appreciate it.
very much. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
thank you
Well,
all.
thank you for the information, and we look forward to the Visual Arts Festival. Thank you. Seeing nothing further under new business, we'll move to communications. Are there any communications from the council? Any communications from the audience? If not, I'll move to adjourn. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.